Hey, good morning. Welcome to Mom. We're going to go ahead and do some moves to get our hips warm and work on our lower back as well before we get started for the day. So we'll go ahead and start on our back. Okay, you want to lie all the way down and fully extend both legs. Okay, go ahead and bring the right knee in and hug it as tight as you can toward your chest. Keep the opposite leg bent or extended. If you feel like you need a little more support in the lower back though, you can bend your knee here. But just hold it tight. We're getting our lower back ready to add to this. So I can't emphasize enough, you're pulling in with the shoulders here, get a nice squeeze toward the chest. So we're gonna add reps to this in just a moment. And go ahead and release and bring in the opposite leg nice and strong and keep the shoulders flat to the floor for now. I'll go back in, keep the toes pointed. Okay, and then you'll release. So what we'll do now is we'll inhale and then exhale, pull your head and shoulders up off the floor and pull that knee in as tight as you did before. You'll feel these in your abs, and again, you're strengthening the lower back without putting any impact on it. And then release, big inhale, exhale, opposite side. And inhale, exhale, opposite side. Good, inhale, exhale. Pay attention to not letting your lower back arch at all. Keep it pressed to the floor. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. And really tuck the chin, roll the shoulders in toward the chest. Inhale, exhale. Good. 2 more each side. Inhale, exhale. Inhale and exhale. And last one each side. Inhale, exhale. And inhale, exhale. Good, release. Okay, from there we'll go into the pigeon stretch. So you're gonna sit up. You're gonna keep the front leg bent. Okay, and you want the outer thigh to be making contact with the floor, but if you're not quite there yet, don't force it. You're gonna keep your hand on the floor for some support. The back leg is fully extended, and you would like your shin and thigh to be touching the floor. If your hip is still pretty tight in that area, you don't want it to be settled here in the bent or in the outward position. In that case, bring the back leg up, okay? So otherwise you'll have the leg fully extended, shin and thigh toward the floor. Okay, both palms to the floor, and I want you to press away from the floor and just get that nice stretch in the lower back, open up the chest. Good. Just take a couple breaths here. Try to breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. And then we'll add to this some pigeon push-ups. So don't be intimidated by the word push-up here. It's just kind of a little extra twist and stretch in this area. You're not putting a lot of emphasis on the upper body, but you'll feel a nice extra bit of stretch on the outside of the hip here too. Okay, so it might feel a tiny bit awkward, but again, as long as you have that back leg settled where it needs to be, you're good. And then you're bending both of the arms. You're gonna keep the belly button in nice and tight, and then fully extend the arms. Again, you're on the outside of this front thigh, and then down. We're just doing 5 each side, and up. And unlike a regular push-up, you're not trying to get your chest all the way to the floor, but you're just bending the arms, far enough that you feel the work in that hip area. And up, got a couple more. Up, and then last one. Good. All right, back to center. And that's not to say you won't feel it in the arms right here. You will for sure. It's just not as intense as a regular push-up can be. Okay, so situate yourself in the pigeon for the next side. Just like with everything else, it might feel a little easier or harder to get into that position, but make sure that back leg, the thigh and the shin are pressed toward the floor, or the knee is bent and up, okay? You don't want your leg extended and facing out. I'm just emphasizing that because I don't want your hips to get any strain on them. Press the palms to the floor, open up the chest. Good, and just let the stretch work as it will. Make sure you feel really solid in the back leg. You're getting a good bit of work right here. And from here, we'll turn to the side. Again, both hands on the outside of this front thigh here, and then bending the arms. Again, it'll be a little awkward for the first one or two. You kind of get your stance, but I want you to really emphasize on remembering what that back leg is doing. You don't want to try to get closer to the floor by turning the back leg. One more. Good. And then back to center. So don't need to do a whole lot of those to really feel what they're doing. So next we'll come into a seated spine twist. We'll keep the left leg extended, bring the right leg up and over. And I want you to press the right foot into the floor. You don't want your knee to be tilted forward. Press the foot into the floor, and then we'll wrap the right hand around. We'll wrap the left arm around and then open up the right side. And then let your eyes follow the right arm all the way down through your fingertips. Get a little extra stretch right here. And I want you to be hugging tight with this arm around the knee so you're keeping your hips pressed forward. You're not putting any strain on the lower back. Good. And back to center. Extend the legs, keep the right leg extended. Bring the left up and over. Press the foot into the floor. Now we'll hook the right arm around so you're pulling the hips toward the leg as much as possible. Get a good stretch to the outside of the thigh again. And then open up the left arm, let the eyes follow. Good. And back to center. All right, and then we're gonna go ahead and come into our prayer squat. So just from the floor like that, you can ease up into it. You ultimately want the feet to be pressed into the floor, but if you're where your heels are up a little bit for now, that's okay. But you'll keep the tailbone lower toward the floor, press the elbows in toward the knees, palms together, and I want you to resist. The knees are pressing into the elbows and vice versa, and then let it stretch the back and the chest. Hips should be nice and open after the last few moves we did, so just ending on a strong note here. And you can hold this up to a minute. Wouldn't say much longer than that, but you can do it throughout the day. Should be easier and easier as it goes. And I want to thank you for joining me on Moms Today. I'll see you next week. Thanks.